Hey everybody, welcome to Star Flag Media Gaming. You guys know me and you guys know our co-host here. His name is Chris. I'm Anthony, and we've got a special guest today, Chris.
Hey, special guest is Alex, man. He's shy.
Oh, okay. Well,
Hey, thumbs
Alex,
up.
aka Spider-Man.
He
Thumbs
get
up from
you got a thumbs up.
thank you, Spider Kid. And yeah. So we got some big news this week, man. We got a lot of stuff happening. We've got Well, we know last week was the Switch 2 reveal, right? And then along with that came a bunch of more rumors like we thought, but the big one had to be 2 days ago, man. We had the Xbox Direct.
Yes.
And I
Which
already
was
gave
pretty
my
dope.
thoughts. I mean, you guys saw my video. If you guys watched on the channel, you guys saw my thoughts on the big four games that they showed off. And honestly, it was kind of nice that it was only four games because they can really focus on like each game and show us real gameplay and what the games are all about. Of
Yep.
course, the big surprise right off the bat was Ninja Gaiden being a Microsoft published game, which was kind of surprising because Koei Tecmo usually doesn't need anybody else to publish it, but I'm sure having them foot the bill for that Game Pass day one, that's really what that was about.
I mean, let's be real. We wouldn't be getting a Ninja Gaiden remake and a part 4 if it wasn't for Microsoft.
Yeah, the financing definitely helped. We probably would get part four. I don't know about that remake though. Ninja Gaiden 2
Well, the
Black,
remake for
whatever.
sure. Yeah, the
Yeah,
remake
yeah,
for
yeah. Yeah, that for sure is thanks to the financing because they didn't have to come up with it themselves. But yeah, so Ninja Gaiden 4 gets shown off. What was your thought on that?
I mean, I thought it looked cool. I thought it looked dope.
They're
I was
hard.
looking
They're
like
really hard games.
Gaiden fan. But I mean, it kind of get Shinobi vibes.
Oh yeah, well Shinobi's real easy. Ninja Gaiden is the exact opposite. It's for like killer hardcore. It looks really cool. I like it. I don't know. So they had like Ninja Gaiden 3 or either 2 or 3 was on like Wii U. So we gotta think about how far back it's been since we got a new one in the series. That's like the
Yeah,
Xbox 360 era. We got some big head energy in the background over there. You want to introduce us to
big head energy.
that? Hey, she's hiding now. Don't be shy. You over there, she's our No Man's Sky expert, guys, if you guys don't
Alex
know.
thought it was him. He's listening. Look, Alex.
He heard big head energy. He's like, oh, I guess I gotta go. No, but yeah, so we got Ninja Gaiden 4. It looks cool, it looks bloody, it looks violent, it looks, Ninja Gaiden. It looks
Yeah,
crazy. Of course, the surprise being that it's Microsoft published, so we're getting it day one Game Pass, and it's coming out on everything. We're getting it on Steam, we're getting it on PS5, we're getting it on Xbox. What was
yeah.
that?
Might come in the Switch too.
Yep. So we're gonna get to some rumored games coming out here in a second. But yeah, Switch 2 is probably a lock. At this point. And the next game they showed off was that South of Midnight. South of Midnight.
Yo, so South of Midnight looks great.
It
I was
does.
a fan when it first the when we watched the direct in Santa Marta. Um,
Yes.
it looked cool. It had the claymation animation that looked dope.
Hmm. Hmm.
Watching the second trailer, it didn't look like it had a lot of that claymation. So it looked like they're showing. I'm sorry, excuse me. It looked like they're showing people that it's going to be 60 FPS, and you could turn it on and off, like it's an option. Which
That's interesting. Because I thought it looked exactly the same.
it looked a little faster to me. Maybe it was my internet connection or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it looks. Yeah, go back and rewatch the original. I think it's the exact same frame rate, but that's the art style. It's supposed to look like stop motion animation. It's still going to
Yeah,
be 60 frames, but the animations are, and especially during the cutscenes when you really notice it.
yeah. Well, either way,
But either way, yeah,
it looks good.
it
People
does.
say
It
it's
looks
a
really good.
DEI game, man.
It is.
Come on, your cousin it's a DEI. I'm like, bro, it's not DEI.
I think it is.
I mean,
Did you see
listen,
you saw the cast of people making it?
okay,
During the direct, it was like, here's your gay director, and here's the all female writing cast, and they're all the shades and colors. There's an Asian one, there's a white one, there's a Hispanic one, and the black lady is the one that's in charge.
all right. Well, when I was
But
looking at, when I looked at the game and I looked at the gameplay, the story take this they said it's a fantasy story, a fantasy southern story that
Yep.
takes place in Louisiana. I want to
Right.
say New Orleans. I could be wrong, but
Yeah,
it
I
feels like
said the Bayou,
yeah.
Bayou area. Yeah, yeah.
So when you look at the type
Who
of
lives
people,
in that area?
it's you got the what is it? The Cajun. You got the
Yep.
white Cajun,
Yep.
the French descendants and whatever, and you got Southern black folks.
Who live in
So
that area? Yeah, no, I don't. I don't. The setting is appropriate with the characters. This is what I
and it's
said.
fantasy. It's
What was that?
fantasy on top of that.
And even yeah, not. I said usually I'm against DEI, whatever, but the biggest thing that you always have to be careful with these games is the quality of the game suffers. This looks like it's not suffering whatsoever because of it. It looks like the game is standing on its own 2 feet. Like it's got legs. Like this thing looks good. I think it looks great. From the beginning when we first saw it, I was like, this actually looks really cool. It's a fresh new take. The art style is different. The
Yeah,
animation is completely different. We haven't seen a game in that type of setting ever. So it's
yeah,
all original
yeah. They're taking the chance.
and
And last one they took
brand
a
new
chance.
IP. It looks really good. It looks really good. So people are shitting on it. They can shit on it all they want. This actually, to me, this is a sleeper hit. I think this one's gonna be good.
I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I agree. I think this looks like a really good game, and this is the first time that one of those DEI games that were, like I said, blatantly DEI isn't hitting you over the head with it because the setting is 100% appropriate. You're not race swapping anybody out.
Yeah, and to go with the DEI, I don't think like I mean we've seen bits and pieces. Now once I play the game or people
Yeah,
review the game and then they say, oh yeah, they ain't hit us over in the head in the trailer, but it's in there, then that's a whole
yeah,
different story.
yeah. We can let
So,
it
so,
once it comes out with the real
yeah,
reviews and you actually get to play it. But as of right now, I'm all in. I think it looks cool.
yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah,
Pause.
the game that they showed off after that was Claire Obscure. I think it's called 33. It's the RPG. Now,
Okay.
like I'm not a huge RPG fan, but I dig this story where, it's like this countdown clock every year. It reminds me kind of like of the Hunger Games. This would make like a really really good movie actually. The storyline is like every year there's a countdown and then they reveal a number and then the number of that year is the amount of people that are going to die. So if this year's number is 33, so everybody who is 33 years old vanishes from the earth. And
Okay.
so they're trying to find out who and what is causing this to defeat it. Obviously, it's some evil villain or something. And that's the storyline. And then every year it's counting down. So next year it'll be 32, then 31 until eventually everybody's extinct on the planet. Um, it's a cool idea, cool storyline. I could see it being like a Hunger Games type movie if they ever make it into a type of movie. It is at the end of the day a turn-based RPG. So if you like old school role-playing games, then
I
this
like
is probably
Pokemon. That's the turn-based RPG.
so you actually might dig the style of gameplay. They said that it is going back to like traditional role-playing games, set in fantasy France.
Yep.
I don't know. I like the story. I'm interested in the story more than I am interested in actually playing the game. Ironically, though, because it is a turn-based RPG, this is the type of game I probably should be playing because I'm not a big Twitch gamer anymore. Like my reflexes aren't what they used to be back when I used to play fast-paced games. So maybe this is something I should start looking back into as far as video games. I think it's going to be a big hit, believe it or not. I just don't think it's for me.
Yeah, I might. I mean, all right. I got be honest and be real. I got maybe room for maybe two RPGs this year. One is the Monster Hunter game that they're gonna drop. That's dropping soon. I'm going to give that a shot. I'm gonna
Okay.
try something out my comfort zone, but I fit the demographic for it.
Yeah.
And then the second RPG is Pokemon ZA.
Yeah, which is about to come out and drop. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I still think the game has a chance. Either way, it's not for me. Then they showed off, of course. The big one of the evening was Doom: The Dark Ages, and
Yeah.
it's a prequel to the 2016 game. It obviously a prequel to Doom Eternal as well. It looks crazy nice. Its software is, you could tell they're putting all their money into this. The game engine looks cool. It looks, I don't know, ultra violent. I did notice that this one does not have any multiplayer in it, so it is a single player experience.
Yep.
Which, as we know, if you play Call of Duty and you play the difference between graphics in the story mode,
And the multiplayer is,
it's a big difference. So I think that they're putting all their resources into making this game look and run really nice. And from what I saw, it looked and ran really, really nice. Yeah, and another big Xbox Day One Game Pass, but also coming out on PS5, also coming out on Steam. So every game they showed off, not one of them was an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, Twitter was kind of going crazy when they learned that you could pre-order Doom and
And
Doom
choose
on
your
the
console.
PS5. Yeah, it was like there was a screenshot of someone on the PlayStation Store going, "Oh yeah, I could pre-order this now," and they were like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah,
But
no exclusive, no timed exclusives even on this.
yeah,
Usually they'll say, "Oh, later on PS5." No. For everything that we saw, it was like it comes out on this day, and then they showed off the consoles, and they said on PC as well. So it's like we're getting it on everything. Now the winners, of course, is anybody who subscribes to Game Pass because they get it without having to pay $70 or $80. But if you
upfront.
don't, if you don't sub for it, you can still get it on whatever console you want.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the option is still there. So I mean, the game looks really cool. I think that it was a strong showing. Good developers direct. I think it's interesting that they stopped calling it, what was they called it before, the showcase or some shit.
maybe Xbox, PlayStation Showcase, Xbox Direct.
Yeah. Well,
But I
developers.
think they added the adjective was developer direct.
Yeah. I
Maybe
just think it's interesting. Ever since Nintendo called them directs, that they're calling them directs too. But either way, the message got
it was 10
across.
out of
Or
10. 10 out of 10.
yeah, it was a good show. I mean, all the games look. There wasn't a bad game in there. Like it all looked high budget. It all looked really good. We got to see tons of gameplay for every single one of those games. We got full trailers afterwards too. So like, if you guys want to go check out the trailers, they're on the channel right now. You can literally go on the channel and click on them and watch. But yeah, the next thing that comes through with that is because they're coming to every system. The only one that they didn't announce officially was Switch 2.
Yeah.
Because we know Nintendo's got the April Direct coming on April 2nd for the reveal of the price point and the launch date and all that shit.
Yeah, they didn't want to take their moment away.
So the rumor from an insider at VGC says that Switch 2 games are being held under non-disclosure agreement by Nintendo because they want it to be revealed on the Direct. Yeah, on their Direct. So we've got a list here of games that are already pretty much confirmed by Video Game Charts, VGC, but we have to wait until Direct. But their inside knowledge, they're pretty good about leaking shit like this too, so this is probably accurate. The list is Diablo 4 with full mouse control. So they're using the Switch Joy-Cons to control Diablo 4 the way you do on PC. They call it, they don't know which one, but it says a Call of Duty title is going to be announced. It's probably the one that came out in November, obviously.
Yeah, Black Ops 6, and then they're probably going to announce the next upcoming game.
Yeah, the one after that. But they say a Call of Duty title, Fallout 4, which I found interesting because that's a PS4 game. But Fallout 4, apparently. Starfield is going to be announced on April for the Switch 2. And Elden Ring.
Okay.
Which is another one that was like, okay, well, that's a heavy hitter with big graphics, you know. It pushes graphics.
Elden Ring is not the prettiest game, but I think it did come out on the PS4.
Elden Ring, no. That's a PS5 game. But Either way, then they said they name dropped a few other titles that have already been rumored, including the Master Chief Collection, Microsoft Simulator, Flight Simulator, and Tekken 8. And then we've got a couple of new updates: Marvel Rivals, as well as Doom: The Dark Ages, is rumored to be coming all within the launch window. Now, launch window doesn't mean day one, but within the first 6 months. That's heavy for
excuse me,
first 6 months.
I'm not. Are you surprised?
I think that now that they've got something that's graphically capable of handling, these games, especially with the AI upscaling and all that, it makes perfect sense for them to port these games.
So, but are you surprised?
I'm surprised at like a couple of these, like Tekken 8, but not at all of them. Some of these are just no-brainers.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, some of these are no-brainers. Call of Duty we knew was coming because of the agreement. Well, Diablo 4 is a surprise for me.
So the reason why I'm saying I'm not surprised is ever since the Wii U, that disaster, Nintendo has been great at reaching out to third parties and getting third party support. So
yeah, I mean, Switch 2 has some games that shouldn't even run on it, running on it. We got The Witcher 3, we got Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are on there. Those are games that are not supposed to run on Switch, but they got it to run on Switch.
Yeah, so like with the Switch 2, with it being more powerful and with the AI, I mean, I'm not surprised that they're getting these games. With the parity, I think the parity will work, especially when you got the AI on top of that. But I'm not surprised. Nintendo is they've been killing the third party support.
Yeah, they got a lot of third party games on Switch. That's one thing that you can say that about the Switch is if you want any type of video game, any type of genre, it's available.
Yeah, exactly.
It's available. I don't think they have the strongest showing with first person shooters, but even those are on there. Not Call of Duty, but now that's going to change.
But
Call of Duty skipped the Switch, and that's the first console that from Nintendo that they've actually skipped.
Yeah, but as far as my point, I'm like, since the Wii U, that once that like went bad and went sour, and they had to switch, they focused on third party and getting third party support and bringing games. I think the Switch got more third party games on it than PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, that's possible, but I don't know. I'm not sure if we're counting like indie games as well, because then that definitely is true. But yeah, they also have a lot of weird exclusives from third parties that you probably didn't even think about. But speaking of what you just said, which is how they reach out to third parties for partnerships, Xbox put out a comment recently, or I should say Microsoft put out, it's the same thing, they had an interview with Gamertag Radio, which I didn't even know was still a thing. That was like one of the very first podcasts that I ever subscribed to when I had an iPod back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had an interview with the Microsoft CEO, Phil Spencer, who spoke about the future of Xbox and their games. And even though he didn't get into specifics of what's coming next from the company, Phil Spencer says that Microsoft is taking the approach of letting people play Xbox games on as many different screens as they can. And then they asked him about some Xbox titles that were jumping to PlayStation and whether or not we were going to see those on Nintendo. And he said,
we're not going to put walls up around where people can engage with the great games our studios are building, or where they can experience Xbox through different forms, whether it's cloud, whether it's on PC, whether it's on handheld PCs, whether it's on phones. I want everybody to be able to play on Xbox. And it does mean more of our games shipping on more platforms, not just PlayStation. We love the work that we do with Nintendo. We love what we do with Valve on Steam. And that's going to continue. We'll just continue to do more of it because what we learn is put the games first. Make sure the games can be as great as they can. We love the experience on our own hardware, our own platform, but our games will show up in more and more places, no doubt.
It does mean more of our games would be shipping on those type of platforms, not just PlayStation. We love the work that we do with Nintendo. We love what we do with Valve on Steam, and our games will show up in more and more places.
They just further cementing that they're a third-party publisher.
that their exclusives are going to be few and far between. And again, those exclusives, I will say, will never be true exclusives. They're going to be timed at best.
Yeah, and well, Is Doom launching on all consoles at the same time?
Sure is.
Okay, and Doom is owned by Bethesda, correct?
id Software, which is part of that umbrella.
Okay, so now when Starfield was launching, it launched. It was announced before the AFK deal,
Mm-hmm.
the Blizzard Activision King that deal, right? Before Activision. So when they had Bethesda, they had that umbrella. They said Starfield is going to be a Xbox exclusive.
Right.
Phil Spencer said that. After they bought Activision, that's when things changed.
Things really changed. Microsoft saw the money Activision makes.
It changed fast.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's like, hey,
as soon as that whole Activision thing happened, you had the chief financial officer of Microsoft talking about, yeah, we're gonna put it on everything. And Phil Spencer was like, what? I didn't hear about that. What?
Can you solidify that Starfield's staying put for the time being?
No, like I'm not. There's no specific game that this kind of goes back to my red line answer. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no reason for me to put a ring fence around any game and say this game will not go to a place that it would find players, where it would have business success for us.
He's trying to walk those comments back. I believe they blindsided him. He had no freaking clue. That was like back when we used to work at a certain company, and we used to tell our associates one thing, and then we go to a meeting. Surprise, surprise! It's New Rule Friday.
Yeah, love you, but
yeah. So Phil Spencer got blindsided by that, but now they're basically trying to put things out to as many screens as possible, and I do still think that they're going to come up with their own niche where they're going to be like, okay, it's going to come up 6-month exclusive is going to be the only thing that if you're an Xbox fan that you can ever have to look forward to. Is a certain game might come out and you get it for a few months for an exclusive, and then it's on everything.
If they do that. But right now, if I was a Series X or Series S owner, there's like no incentive to buy an Xbox console.
Oh, well, I mean, if I'm already an owner, I'm not losing because I already bought in. But for the next generation, right, the only reason that I would go in would be, well, it's not going to be for exclusives. So if they're going to come up with the new console, it's got to be a top of the line specs machine for a really good price.
So
for me to jump in.
So let me rephrase it. So if I didn't have a console and I wanted to buy a console right now, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't jump into an Xbox.
I wouldn't jump into an Xbox because their games are going everywhere.
Yeah, I'd get a PlayStation. I'd get a PlayStation and Switch, and if I have the money, I'll get Game Pass.
Yeah, and
that's the smart move.
Yeah, and they're making pro versions of Doom and pro versions of some of these games. It's like, all right, there you go.
Like I wouldn't jump into the deep end of an Xbox console at this point in the party with
it's
this
too late.
With this current strategy, it doesn't make any sense. But Microsoft knows that, and they're not afraid of killing themselves now because they're in third place anyway. At this point, 4.5 years, 5 years into the console's life, they've sold what they're gonna sell. Well, as always, we're gonna wrap this up. We want to thank everybody for watching this episode. Leave your comments down below if you think I'm crazy, if you think Chris is crazy. Leave your comment down below. We got a little bonus feature for you right after this with his kid right here, letting you know what his favorite superheroes are, and leave your favorite superheroes in the comments. And games. So leave your favorite comments below. Like, dislike, share, and subscribe. As always, we want to catch you guys next time here. Starflag Media Gaming. Peace. Peace.
Alex wants some waffles at, I don't know what time.
11 p.m.
Alex, do you want to say anything to the people on YouTube?
Yeah. What kind of waffles do you want?
Yeah.
He says chocolate. Who's your favorite superhero? Flash. You heard that?
The Flash?
And who else?
And Spider-Man.
What's your favorite video game?
What was it?
Marvel Rivals or
There we
Marvel
go. What was
Marvel's
it?
favorite superhero game?